we go. Sorry about that, guys. I forgot to turn the camera on. Happy Tuesday afternoon, everyone. It's 12 p.m. Central Time, which means it's time for our daily hail forecast here on Hail Trace, sponsored by C3 Group. There is a link to their page below in the Facebook here. Go check out C3 Group for any of your claims needs. And thanks again for sponsoring our videos. Make sure you watch our video on our app. If you're out and about and you're unable to get on Facebook, you can do that. I know a lot of you folks don't really know that too well. Hit that lightning bolt in the lower right hand corner of your screen. I'll bring up the YouTube stream actually for this video in the lower right hand corner. You continue doing your work and you can just kind of half watch, half listen to the video. Or if you want to watch it full screen, you go ahead, click on the video and rotate your phone landscape mode, and you can go ahead and see it in full screen. You can also make sure you have those notifications set up so you don't miss any of our live videos, especially if you like watching it live and interacting in the comments and everything. Notification options, go to your notification settings. You can set up 1, 2, or all 3 of the various ways you can get notifications, whether it's on your desktop computer, your email, or on push notifications. And if you want it for cities, whole states, whole country, you can customize it to all of your needs. So here's your forecast for today. Another complicated forecast. I think that's just honestly going to be the theme between now and probably whenever the hail turns off. It really starts to drop off in the middle of July. We have basically a lot of different areas where there was a lot of rain earlier today, and now looks like we're going to see quite a bit of uncertainty in terms of where storms are going to happen. You see here I have 2 areas in the orange where up to some tennis ball size hail is possible, one of which we have not too many people in. It's between Rapid City and Bismarck, not too much going on there. Maybe some tennis ball size hail out in the fields, but for Bismarck and for Rapid City, 2% chance you see a storm today. I think most of it's going to miss any population, which for North and South Dakota is pretty easy to do. Main focus is going to be here for Kansas City down through like Fayetteville, Arkansas, back towards Wichita, and then up kind of close to Chicago. I see that less than 2%. I think Chicago itself is not going to see any storms. Could be some storms with up to a $quarter, half dollar size hail off to the west of you guys, so like say like Rockford or back by Davenport. But again, I think the threat is more for wind and maybe even a couple little spin up tornadoes, less on the hail side. There's been a lot of rain down in here and now moving into the St. Louis area. That might kind of cut off some moisture and instability today. So I'm really keeping those hail chances a lot lower in Illinois. But, and something could change. The big problem with this is something could change between now and 3 p.m. and then our whole forecast kind of goes out the window and something crazy happens. So anything's possible. You can't say 0% for Chicago area. It could always happen. St. Louis, you're 5%, and I think it's more you have that chance of some hail that is going to be small, more so of getting some rain moving through pretty soon here. Sorry about that, guys. I was reading a comment at the same time as talking. Hard to do 2 at the same time like that. So I'm keeping that 5%, maybe up to some $quarter, half dollar size hail. Now, see comments asking about Kansas City. I have 2% right now. My only concern for Kansas City today is I think the storms might form just to the south of the city. It's very possible storms could form over Kansas City. You're at that 2%. And I have even the bigger hail kind of pushed off south. Where I have it pushed off south, I think it's going to form like right here, which is going to be really close towards Olathe or Olathe, however you guys pronounce it, in the Kansas City area. So if there are storms that impact Kansas City, it'll be the southern side of the metro, far southern side. Probably not Kansas City itself, probably further towards like Lee Summit and Olathe and places like that where you're on the southern edges. Storms might form right on top of you and then move to the south, but I'm kind of looking more towards it's going to form, go to town, and by the time it gets to Joplin, it might not be producing hail anymore, which is why we're at 5% for the Joplin area as well. Mainly, again, because it looks like we're going to see storms form up, move through, and then they're going to turn more into a line where there's going to be less hail in there, so it's kind of hard to get big hail out of a squall line dropping lots of wind and rain. 5% also for Wichita. Main uncertainty, I almost didn't have them in the forecast. The big uncertainty is you have storms moving through right now. how fast that recovery is and how fast that instability goes up really will determine if you can see any storms later on. Right now, God, it's kind of hard. When it's noon and you're getting rain, it's hard to get that recovery in time to get some big hail later on. But then again, storms could fire at 11 o'clock at night. Who knows? This is late June for you. It's a little more challenging to get that storms to happen. I don't have a local hail forecast today because of that, but I do have showing the most recent HRRR model run here, and you can see as it goes through, I'm going to let it run through its run and come looping around again. This is just a GIF image. We have a couple storms that move through. These head towards St. Louis, and then you see all the storms here. So they form south. Here's Kansas City right in here. They keep showing time and time again the storms form right about in this area here and then move south. And if that happens, obviously Kansas City will get mist and you'll see big clouds off to your south, but nothing over you guys. And then also going too far to the north to impact Joplin or even down towards Tulsa. So we're really going to have to come down and to see where those storms form. We'll obviously go live, try to maybe even do a Facebook update just with like an image or something if storms do end up coming into here. And throw OKC on there. I've come to appreciate the letdown. Yeah, no OKC today. Your chances are 0 now. And you can also see storms that might move through St. Louis. What this model is showing would be less hail, but this model's also had some hard times picking up stuff in the first place. And I think a couple of these storms up in here could produce some hail as well. So that's what we're looking at for today. Kind of a complicated forecast, but that's just how early summer goes. And especially in 2018, where early summer seems to be even more random with where all the big hail happens. So here's our forecast for tomorrow. Looking ahead, I think it's going to be a pretty quiet day hail-wise, regardless of the location. I think we have isolated up to ping pong ball size hail possible. Again, it's really going to come down to what happens tonight going into tomorrow morning. If you get some big storms and there's a lot of rain moving through, could kill this area, could cut it way south, could cut it way north. It's really hard to say, and I think it's a fairly marginal risk going into tomorrow as well. So yes, Ohio, Kentucky, Tennessee, even into West Virginia, you got some chances for hail tomorrow, but I think it's going to be more of a wind threat overall, and there's a very, very good chance that this risk will be completely different by the time we get into tomorrow. So this is the model showing. This is what it's looking at right now. For tomorrow, you can see some storms forming. It'll loop around again. Some storms forming in Ohio and areas. You see all those little isolated storms. Those could drop some hail. Again, maybe up to some ping pong ball size hail. But it really depends upon how the radar, how all the weather pans out today and goes through tomorrow. So, okay. Are the storms forming over Topeka right now, the main event? They could produce some large hail. We've been watching that. If they can strengthen on the road down I-70 towards Kansas City, then yes, Kansas City's chances could go up a lot. But right now, it's looking fairly insignificant, so it's hard to really point that. I can actually show you guys real quick here. Let me just bring this up real fast. I can even show you guys. So right now, comment asking about Topeka. These storms, if they can turn more supercellular, then yeah, they can impact Kansas City and probably just south, again, over by Overland Park and Bonner Springs maybe. But right now, this is unorganized, not really conducive for big hail. So we're going to have to kind of see how that pans out. So we'll get in on that in a little bit here. Let me get out of studio mode real quick. No. There we go. So, anyway, moving forward for the rest of the forecast here, we'll jump right into that Hail 5-Day brought to you by C3 Group. Again, sorry, we'll keep updates. We'll be here all day. If anything does move towards Kansas City, we will do any sort of live coverage for that. But let's see if this 5-day can get going here. I seem to have problems with this graphic wanting to load. Whoop, there it goes. All right, so you got Tuesday here is today up to a 5% chance of a 3-star map or better, and then it really might come down to if a storm can hit Kansas City or St. Louis or even Joplin. Up to some tennis ball size hail. Population's moderate. Tomorrow, high population but low chance of storms and not really that big of hail like we just showed. So again, that 2% chance of a 3-star. Thursday, 2% chance of 3-star. Hail could be gigantic, but it might be in the middle of nowhere. Looks like it's gonna be North and South Dakota, not Carolina. Oh man, very different states. And Friday, I think we might have a front range risk. I'll show you guys those graphics in just a second here. So, but since it's far enough out, only 5% right now, with chances of possibly increasing as we get closer. Thinking up to some tennis ball size hail, moderate population. And then on Saturday, a high population center, possibly toward, maybe try to get itself towards Chicago area. We'll see. 5% right now, up to some tennis balls possible. And here are the swaths that coincide with that 5-day. And this is Thursday's risk. Again, pretty low population area with some big hail possible. Could get some serious baseballs in North Dakota. On Friday, this hasn't changed at all since yesterday. Still looking like front range. Gonna be somewhere along the front. It might not be this whole front range by the time we get to that day, but it's gonna be somewhere in here. And then on Saturday, a new area to show you guys at the end of our 5-day. Looks like we could see anywhere from Omaha all the way up towards Canada, through Wisconsin, and even towards the Chicago area. Pretty high populated area indeed. So that's what we're looking at for today, tomorrow, and through Saturday. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns, put it in the comments section here below. If you're watching it live or even after the fact, follow our Facebook page if you have not already. And you can hit see first. That way all of our posts pop up top of your news feed so you don't miss anything, even if you miss our notifications. And if you have any other questions or any inquiries about Hail Trace itself, give us a call, email us, or visit our website. Everything here on our on our page. You can go and contact us through any of these various options. And of course, message us on intercom, which is on hailtrace.com. Lower right hand corner of your screen, blue circle with a speech bubble on it. Sends out a message to everyone on staff. So I hope you have a great rest of your Tuesday, everybody. I will see you again tomorrow at 12 p.m. if there is not any severe weather. Hopefully there will be, due to those hail dances, and maybe I'll be back later on today to do some live coverage. If not, have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you tomorrow.